Very nice to hear from Swamiji and Keshavji. Pranam to both of you and to Keegan. I'll answer the last question first, I think, about what tradition we hail from. Like Swamiji said, we are very similar. There are subtle philosophical differences. So those philosophical differences lead to different schools. Ultimately, in Bharat or India, if you do not come from a bona fide accepted sampradaya or lineage, you are not accepted as authoritative. So there is the Advaita school, which is very commonly understood in the world as what is Hinduism or Sanatana Dharma, non-dualism. There are different Vaishnava lines. The Vaishnavas are those who practice devotional life or bhakti towards one supreme entity. Although there are many gods in Hinduism, gods and goddesses, most traditions agree that they come from one source. They see them by different names. Someone may worship Lord Shiva or Vishnu or like Shakti, Mother Earth, or Durga. But most of them understand that they all come from the one Brahman, the one source of everything. So most of them accept this ultimately monotheistic understanding, whether they see it in different ways. For us, we follow also Vedanta, the Vedantic literature based on all our very ancient scriptures, but we follow a more personal understanding of Vedanta that accepts that at the same time we are one with God and simultaneously different, meaning we are one in quality, both being conscious entities. We are different in quantity, God being great, infinite, and the souls being finite and by nature meant to be the loving servant of God. So that is our understanding. Our, you could say, sampradaya or lineage leader is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he preached the philosophy of Achintya Bhed Abhed Tattva. It means, again, like I said, we are simultaneously one with the quality of Godhead, being conscious eternal entities, while different in quality, meaning quantity. God is great, I am small. God is infinite, I am finite. So that is our basic difference. Our understanding is that that relationship between the soul and God is eternal. We are trying to awaken that loving relationship, being an eternal servant of the Lord, in a loving mellow of friendship and so forth. One of the rasas, you could say. So to the specific question, again, so many things to talk about here. I don't even know really where to start, but evil, good and evil is really the topic, right? So it's our understanding that, like I said, the misuse of free will and causing harm to others puts into motion the cycle of suffering and action and reaction. And so to get out of that kind of cyclic flux of the duality of this world, we try to practice non-harm. But ultimately, we understand that, you know, like I talked about in the previous meeting, we must try to transcend all these material problems by realizing our true nature and establishing our connection with God. That is called yoga. Yoga actually means connection. And so whether we are doing it through karma work, we are connecting to God through work, or through knowledge, jnana, or through bhakti, devotion, we are trying to connect. And we are, all of us, I think we could say, we are following traditions of Bhagavad Gita, Vedanta, Upanishads. We are taking from these scriptures. I think Swamiji and Keshavji would agree. We are coming from similar Vedantic literature, Upanishad literature. Sin, you could say, like I said before, sin is pap. Pap means sinful activity. And we don't think of it as, you know, like a moral failure necessarily. It's more about, again, committing violence, harming others, harming the planet, like Keshavji was saying. These are subtle acts of violence, especially in our understanding, if you usurp the free will of others. That is one idea of violence, you know. That's why religious tolerance is very important. You know, we're preaching not to try to, you know, inhibit other people's free exercise of their will. That is one form of violence. So if we learn tolerance, that tolerance can also help the world be a better place. Not trying to impose our will upon others, rather harmonizing and showing respect. And, there is a place for being a warrior even, Kshatriya, but that should only be in protecting those who are less, who are vulnerable. That's why we should protect them. That is the idea of the Kshatriya class, the warrior class. So I want to get more into the details of the root of evil and sin, but I think we can wait for another question and keep going.